The next question is also Timberwolves related. Caden Yoss, thoughts on the lack of Anthony Edwards talk this summer? Seems people are forgetting about him. He's been working on his floater and short mid-range game. What should our expectations be for him and the Timberwolves as a whole this coming season? I don't think it's weird that there's been a lack of Anthony Edwards talk. Everyone sort of has accepted that he's just like this certified star ascending, which is a great place to be. And then the Wolves just went all the way in, not just on Rudy Gobert, looking at that trade, but Karl-Anthony Towns, because they gave him that Supermax extension. And there's sort of been the trickle-down effect of, one, the conversation of, was it worth giving up the extra draft equity to keep Jaden McDaniels? And what's going to happen with D'Lo? He's in a contract year, very expensive salary at the moment. Is he someone that they're able to divest into deepening their rotation a little bit? Or are they going to move forward just with this, I don't want to say very top-heavy, but a very intriguing tippy top of your nucleus? But for Edwards, if he's working on his mid-range game and floater game, that's huge for the Wolves to have someone who, aside from D'Lo, and can do it maybe hopefully more efficiently than D'Lo, have that in-between touch. And it adds just another dimension to Edwards' offense where he's putting real pressure on the basket, and he is a dangerous shooter. His catch-and-shoot threes have been mostly fine. He did shoot 34.4% after the All-Star break on off-the-bounce triples. That's huge. And so if you're going to progress as an in-between scorer there, you just become a threat, not just at every level, but sort of in every form. He shot 50% on drives, and I actually think he has like a lot of room to grow as a finisher when you're kind of looking at his angles and takeoff points. Something to watch for is he's definitely made improvements as a passer. His decision-making after he can leave his feet or throw those jump passes and those like 11th hour decisions, they're really good and impactful. But when you watch him, and I like that he's making quicker, it feels like, the swing passes where he doesn't hold on to the ball as long if he's not attacking. Can he be more of that methodical setup man and develop the chemistry in the half court with Gobert? Because a lot of the assists that he's racking up, they're not coming out of passing guys open. He's passing to guys who are already open because he collapsed the defense. And there's going to be some more complicated reads he has to make if you want him to connect with Rudy Gobert. I also think it's important that he sort of makes that jump because if you don't think D'Lo is long for this team, even beyond next year, well, you don't have that guy, like that primary floor general type to slow things down and make those plays. And you might even argue that D'Lo is not the perfect solution should he stay there anyway. I think Edwards is capable of making that type of a leap as a playmaker just because he's still so young. And we've seen someone who's willing to get rid of the ball and he's not going to put it on the floor. And again, after he's leaving his feet, finding guys, and he already looks comfortable just Towns specifically. He just knows where Towns is going to be and throwing passes behind him. So he's made some difficult passes, but in terms of making more complicated reads or passing guys actually open outside of transition, maybe, I'm just saying I'd like to see him not rely less, but can he pass outside the context of, well, the defense is giving me so much attention as I'm going downhill, or I'm catching the ball and throwing that touch pass or that swing pass. I'd like to see him make those more conventional floor general type reads. And I think it's going to be important to him actualizing his ceiling. I look at him defensively, though. Maybe you'd like to see a little bit more one-on-one improvement. He is what I would call a defensive disruptor or playmaker, where now, especially with Gobert and Jaden McDaniels there, even Solanus with Kyle Anderson, this is someone who can force turnovers away from the ball in bunches. If you're asking for his ceiling in general, and I've mentioned this many times before, it's all NBA, top 10 player in the league material. That's where he's at for me. I don't know if I would go top 5 that far, but like if you told me he was the second best 2-guard in the league last year behind Devin Booker, let's use an example, or it's Devin Booker or Jaylen Brown. Let's say just say top 3 with those two there. I'm not going to push back. He's probably already a top 5 2-guard or off guard, whatever you want to call it. If you want him to be the top 10 player in the league material, I think he does need to make the biggest leap as that primary offensive engine, not as a scorer, but as a passer. And I do think he's capable of it. Does he get there this year? I don't know. There's a lot of moving parts here with Minnesota's roster. But I will say we should expect him to be in the All-Star discussion, if not fringe All-NBA material. And the Timberwolves as a whole, I don't want to even tether them to a playoff context because I just don't know. But I think in the regular season, this is a team, I'm going to say it should be a top 5 team in the West because you have to recognize Phoenix and Golden State shouldn't go anywhere. The Clippers and Nuggets are going to be healthier. So like they should be around that same, the Timberwolves or the Pelicans to me are the teams that I look at and say, okay, even more so than the Lakers right now, they should be hovering around that 4-team tier of Phoenix, Golden State, Denver, and LA. If the LA Clippers, both of them are both those squads are healthy. So that's where I'm at with the Timberwolves. I think they're going to be dominant during the regular season. I just have questions with the playoffs, and I think Anthony Edwards is a future top 10 player in the league. I think he will be closer to all-star / all I think he will be closer to all NBA consideration than outside it this year. And by that, I mean, like, this should be someone who's probably a decidedly top 25, top 20 guy in the league, consensus by the end of next season. And I apologize if that insulted any Timberwolves fans, because I know there are people who support teams that get mad when you don't say, oh, well, best in the league for each of these guys. Tom.